All right, grab your coffee or whatever you're drinking today because this is Gemini Shit with a side of coffee. And today we're getting into something I've been wanting to do for a minute. I'm doing yearly tarot forecasts for each zodiac sign, but like real lifestyle, no fluff, not perfect, not pretending. We're all aligned and glowing every day. And this is about the energy you're actually walking into, the lessons, the shifts, and the stuff spirit keeps tapping you on your shoulder about. Some of you might be listening in your car, some of you are cleaning up, and some of you are probably overthinking your whole life right now. So, this message and this reading today is meant to guide you, not stress you out. You're not behind and you're not doing anything wrong. I don't know what's coming yet, but I'm sipping on a banana cream coffee, and I used banana pumps of syrup, but I also used Better Buzz. I love Better Buzz coffee, the pods at home, and it is absolutely amazing. And it has to be on ice, you know that. So I don't know what's coming yet. I haven't pulled out any cards, but how are you? How has your New Year's been? I feel like for me, it's been so busy, so many things that are transitioning. I feel like spirit is just moving me in different directions. I have a lot of good starts and connections for the podcast with special guests this year. I am so excited. But I just want you to know this, we're all in this together. Okay. I'm going to pull cards in real time. We're doing this together as a team, as a unit. So if something hits or resonates, it hits for a reason. So I want you to take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. This is no pressure and no fear. So if you're listening for your sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or maybe you just want to be nosy and listen to somebody else's energy, you're in the right place. So make sure you have something to sip on and let's get started. Okay, Capricorn. This year has a very clear theme, and honestly, it fits you so perfect. I pulled, I'm using an astrology deck, tarot astrology deck, and I pulled the Earth and Sun. That's crazy. It's not chaos energy, it's the power coming aligned. So the Earth card is the foundation, right? And this year is about stability, structure, and real world results. It's not the flashy, look what I'm doing kind of stuff, but it's kind of growth that actually lasts. And I feel like for some of you, it's you're looking ahead in the long term, like success. You don't want fast, quick success. You want lifetime success. What can I do that is going to last a lifetime? And for Capricorn, this shows building something solid, whether it's in your career, your finances, your home life. It could even be your reputation. It's getting serious about what deserves your time and what doesn't. Cut out any distractions that don't lead anywhere. Pay attention to relationships and, connections that you might have that just seem like dead end, like it's just a waste of your time. Because this year you're leveling the fuck up. And I feel like it's going to be slow, intentional, but powerful. So you're going to feel more grounded than usual, but also more aware where you've been carrying too much responsibility, who has your time that doesn't deserve it, where you've outgrown systems, jobs, maybe even roles that you once had. And I feel like a lot of us, we wear a lot of different titles. And this is the year where you have your glow up. This is your glow up year. You're not playing long games no more. You're not playing, board games, chess, checkers. Like, no, you know who you are. You know what you want. And with your earth card, this is being patient and being slow to any type of change. But I love that the sun card comes in for you right after the earth card. This is so powerful in a grounding sense. because now here's the glow up part. Because the sun this year brings clarity. No more second guessing, no more trying to figure out what you want, what you don't want, and confidence in all of your decisions. Like you could be that person who just shows the fuck up and moves mountains. People turn their neck to see who you are. People want to invest in you. Being seen or recognized for your efforts this year is going to be huge. So I'm going to tell you right now, you better show up in your best outfit. Hair done, makeup done, shoes done, pressed, cleaned. It's your show up year. A return to joy after a heavy chapter is going to be your motto. Like, no more heaviness. You are returning to who you are meant to be. This isn't loud ego energy, it's earned confidence. You did your part. You're stepping into a version of yourself that knows, I've done the work, I trust myself. And for some Capricorns, this could look like a lot of different things, career recognition, or maybe like a leadership position so you get promoted, stepping out of you know, publicity. That could go a long way, stepping out of that, like not being the center of attention because you are slowly gaining that inner confidence that you don't need outsiders to tell you who you are. Health could definitely be improving for you guys, feeling lighter, feeling happier, feeling more present. But the Earth and Sun card is stable success that actually feels good. Stability. This is your year of stability. This year isn't about survival mode. You're done with that. It's about building something real. It's about enjoying what you've built and letting yourself shine without any guilt. You're not meant to hide or stay small this year. You're meant to stand firm in who you are and let results speak for themselves. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. So, if I could give you any advice for this year, trust consistency over urgency. Don't dim your light for anybody, and don't dim your light to stay comfortable. Celebrate wins, even if they're small. Like, enjoy those little celebrations, those little successes, those little accomplishments. Let stability and joy coexist. You don't have to choose anymore. And I want you to just remember this is the year where hard work meets happiness. Okay, Aquarius, this year is quite powerful and public. It's not loud, it's not chaotic, it's strategic and undeniable. I pulled for you. I'm using a astrology tarot deck. So I pulled the 10th house card for you and I got the moon card. Okay? The moon card is the high priestess and that is a very specific message. So this year starts with you pulling inward. It's tuning into your intuition. It's trusting that gut feeling that keeps coming at you, but I feel like you can't ignore it. Emotional patterns are going to resurface with this moon card. You're going to realize more than you think. Clarity, people's true colors coming to fruition. I feel like this is your year to say, this is what I feel. And it's okay for you to feel that. You may feel more private than usual, less talkative, more observant, because this is the year where you watch. You're just the observer. You're sensing things and you're starting to trust your inner voice. Your big theme is stop explaining yourself. Start listening to yourself instead of explaining yourself to somebody. If something feels off, it truly is off. If something feels aligned, then you better act quickly because this high priestess card is your inner world getting louder. And I feel like, you know, things this year for you have to be a little bit more hush hush, opposed to trying to put it out there to the universe, put it out there to people. Like, you don't need anybody's approval. You don't need social media. You don't need the publicity to be in your business this year. You need to move in silence, which is your 10th house is all about reputation, career, and public image. And here's where it gets a little bit interesting. Okay. Because while you Aquarius are doing your inner work, the outer world is watching with binoculars. The 10th house talks about career shifts, being seen as an authority figure, recognition with titles, and maybe like status changes. So relationships, maybe going from we're just in the friend zone to we're officially a couple. It could go from I'm just the receptionist to now I'm a lead in charge. Your name this year carries a lot of weight. And this could show up in many ways, from role changes to stepping up into a leadership position, for being known for something specific. This is your fucking year. Do you have a bright idea? Do you have something that you feel like I've been holding this idea off, but this year I'm going to launch it? Well, you better launch that shit this year because you are finally taking your ideas serious. And this isn't instant fame energy, it's earned respect. You're about to blow the fucking walls down for people this year with your ideas and your energy. And together, the message with the moon card in the 10th house is trust your intuition while you step into visibility, right? So you don't need external validation. You don't need social media to tell you what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong. You don't need others to tell you what you're doing right or doing wrong because that's where your High Priestess card comes in to tell you trust your gut feeling, look inward, stop asking outsiders for validation. We don't need that. And you know what's crazy is sometimes I even do that with social media, like, oh, this post didn't get enough views. But in reality, it's touching the people that truly need to hear that message. And I feel like this year for you is knowing your inner guides have your back, knowing that public success is going to be huge in silence. When you move in silence, your results speak 10 times louder. And this year asks you to be intentional with what you share. Protect your energy because as you move, you're going to have people that don't want to see you be successful. Let your work, not your words, do the talking. But I want you to remember this. Be careful for emotional burnouts from overthinking because I feel like you're going to have one idea that's going to be very successful or one subject area of life that's going to be so successful that you're just going to keep thinking like, holy shit, I love this feeling. I want to keep more of it. I want more of it. And you're going to burn yourself out. Don't hide out of fear. I want you to learn to balance intuition and ambition because those are two huge, huge, huge like energies right there. Intuition and ambition, right? Like your angels want you to watch out for you being logical opposed to trusting your intuition because intuition comes from your angels and your guides, right? So your affirmation for this year, and you might want to get a paper and pencil and write this down, is I trust my intuition and I allow my success to unfold naturally. Don't push things so fast. I don't want you to think that, if you become successful, easy money, easy come, easy go. That is the truth. Just as fast as it's going to come, it's going to go. So slow, steady, support your driven success with your own celebrations behind the scenes. I do want you to know that your crystal for the year is Labradorite. I always get tongue twisted with that. Why? Because the moon card is intuition, strengthening your intuition. And Labradorite is a great crystal that protects your energy while you're visible. It's perfect for spiritual and career alignment. And you can carry this when you're entering new roles, new positions, navigating through recognition, making career decisions. So there is a huge, huge, huge success coming to you this year. I don't want you to get burnt out. I don't want you to think about external validation. I want you to know that role changes are coming in. Expect that shift. Expect your intuition getting more heightened, your frequency leveling out. Be ready for that. Carry your crystal with you. So, Aquarius, this year isn't about proving anything. It's about knowing who you are before the world catches up. Know who the fuck you are. Step into your power. You're a fucking queen. Don't let anybody dim your light this year. I'm Gemini 211. If you want a deeper inside reading, you could always book Gemini211.com, and make sure you guys are following me on TikTok and Instagram. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to comment or share this with somebody else that could get some good insight from this. I love you guys and I appreciate all the support. Okay, let's be real. Let's talk about the sign that feels everything. Pisces, you guys are so connected to your emotions. I love it. You guys are never surface level. Pisces, this year is soft on the outside, transformational on the inside. And honestly, this is one of those quietly powerful years that changes everything. I pulled the Hermit Virgo card plus the water sign. I'm using an astrology tarot deck. So this combo is big for you guys because this year asks you to slow down and get intentional, not isolate yourself out of sadness, but to do things with a purpose. And I feel like you guys are so intuitive and inclined to be overly sensitive to feeling others' emotions that sometimes you forget to step back from the noise and chaos and draining people. Sometimes you forget to reevaluate habits, routines, and your daily life. And this is that year where that Hermit Virgo card steps in to tell you to be more selective with your time and energy. Be more selective with choosing peace over proving anything. You don't have to prove your point this year. Like, I feel like 90% of the people that you're going to deal with this year are not on your same frequency or energetic level. Therefore, it's like talking to a wall. Have you ever had that conversation with somebody where you're trying to get your point across and they just don't get it? It's because they're not vibrating at your same frequency. And you're going to feel more introverted this year because I feel like you're tired of dealing with the bullshit. You're going to have less interest in surface level connection. If it's not a connection that's going to level you the fuck up in any way aspect of your life, that chapter is closing for you. You're being called this year to clean up after your emotionally distraught year last year. This is a year where I feel like, let me get my shit together quietly. And so you are going to do, because your water card is about emotional depth, your intuition, how it flows. Now, here's where it gets very Pisces, you emotional being, because it's a water card, right? And for you, the water says emotions are heightened, intuition is strong, creativity and sensitivity are amplified. But look it, this year brings the emotional clarity, not because things are easy, but because Pisces, you finally allow yourself to feel without drowning. So this year is not drowning in emotions. It's not allowing yourself to fall so deep underwater that you drowned yourself in emotion, right? So I want you to ask yourself which emotions are yours and which ones aren't. And when do you set boundaries and when do you go with the flow? There's a lot of deep, in depth messages here that I feel like you either get it or you don't get it. Because in all reality, this is a soul maintenance year for you. It shows that you're going to pull away from situations naturally that drain you. You're going to question your own routines. You're going to feel more private than usual. You don't want to tolerate any nonsense. This is your year where you just realize, I can't hold everything that doesn't serve my highest good. And just because I can't hold everything doesn't mean I should, right? Like, don't take on emotions, energies, situations that are not yours. Emotions rise so they could be understood, not avoided. So when you have a fallout with somebody, when you have an argument with somebody, it's not just because it's a let me think about this. How did I react? Why did this make me cry? And I want you to get creative and spiritual with it. Like when you question yourself about an argument or disagreement, there's going to be a lot of dreams and gut feelings because your signs and your intuition are getting aligned. Spirit's coming through to you. So, together with the Hermit and Water card, it's redefining your boundaries, it's healing, it's withdrawing when you need to. And this year isn't about chasing, it's about realignment. I want you to quietly rewrite your emotional patterns. I want you to heal wounds this year that have never been closed. And that might be deep. I want you to learn how to protect your energy without having guilt because you're preparing for a new chapter, but it doesn't begin until you honor this one. Your red flags for this year, I feel like, are I want you to just watch out for escaping instead of resting. Don't isolate yourself instead of reflecting. And don't absorb other people's emotions. Okay. Rest is productive this year for you. Silence is informative, and boundaries are absolutely necessary. And just spiritual connection right now. And I feel like this is my message. Well, this is the message and download that I feel like I'm getting from Spirit to tell you. This year is not asking you to rush, prove, or push. It's asking you to slow down and listen. There's wisdom in your emotions right now. Not overwhelm, not chaos, not destruction. Wisdom. You're being guided to step back, clear any emotional clutter, and reconnect with yourself in a deeper way. Not everything needs a reaction, and not everyone deserves access to you. This is the year where you learn that protecting your peace doesn't make you cold, it makes you strong. Remember that. Your crystal for the year is going to be amethyst. Oh, amethyst, how much I love you. And this amethyst, yeah, I feel like it fits perfect with your reading because amethyst brings calm emotion to the overload. It strengthens your intuition without confusion, and it protects your energy during any healing. Now I'm getting tongue twisted. You could use this by putting it in your bed. A lot of times, you could put it under your pillow to get clear messages or downloads from any dreams that you might have. And if your emotions start to feel heavy, if you start to feel like you don't know where to go, how to go, which direction to go in, it's okay to have heavy emotions during moments of solitude. But I want you to honor your emotions while protecting your peace. All right, Pisces, this is the year you stop pouring out of an empty cup. This year isn't about becoming someone new, it's about coming back to yourself. What you're building quietly this year will change everything later. Have patience. I'm Gemini 211. If this resonated with you, I want you to please comment and I want you to share this with somebody else that might need to hear their zodiac sign reading for the year. Make sure you guys are following me on social media, Instagram and TikTok, Gemini211. You could book private appointments with me at Gemini211.com. Love you guys. All right, Aries, this is a big year for you. Like the momentum you can't ignore, things are finally clicking kind of year. Bad bitch energy and tons of abundance and success. So I'm using an astrology tarot deck and I pulled for you the full moon card plus the first quarter moon and the trine. That's not random. That is process at its finest. So I'm going to walk this through like a story because that's how this year is going to unfold for you. So, your full moon, right? The full moon is asking you look at what you've created. This year opens with powerful, powerful energy. The moon is saying to you, you're seeing the results of past choices unfold. Old efforts finally are coming to light. You're seeing the truth for what they are, whether it's personal, spiritual, emotional. And then there's the closure around a cycle that you've outgrown this year. Actually, I should say this past year. So be ready for doors to close. And I know that sometimes we get frustrated when doors close that we didn't expect, or it's a huge emotion, takes like an emotional, like stab to the heart, right? That something happened. But it's going to feel like a disappointment. And at the same time, I want you to think about how far you've come, right? But you're being asked to be honest. What actually worked and what actually didn't work. This is not punishment energy, it's clarity. So when doors are closing for you, whether it's in your career or a relationship, I want you to know it's not a punishment. Spirit is just closing doors because you've outgrown that energy and you are leveling the fuck up. And some of you will be celebrating wins and some of you will be releasing attachment. Most of you will be doing both because as we get into your first quarter moon, it's the move. It's move now, move now. This is where you, Aries, come alive because decisions can't be delayed anymore. Actions require you to make some moves and you're no longer in a planning phase. So this year is whatever you've been building up, working towards, it's going to come to fruition. So if you've been wanting to be a social media content creator, if you've been wanting to open up your own business, if you've been wanting to leave your relationship, the momentum's going to pick up very fast. So this year is going to bring a lot of demand in courage, demand in follow through, adjusting as you go because nothing's perfect. So when shit hits the fan, don't be mad, perfect it. And perfect is at the moment. So whatever works for the moment for you to get or overcome those hurdles is what you need to do. You need to choose action over fear this year. You might feel a little bit restless, but that restlessness is going to push you to be motivated. Um, because you're an Aries, you're going to be very impatient. So you have to be ready to start something new now. You have to be ready to make changes now. And that's because this is a turning point year for you. It doesn't mean sit still, relax, go on vacation. No, because the trine comes in for you. And if you could see this card, it has a big triangle on it and it says 120 degrees of separation. So here's the blessing. The trine energy is ease, alignment, and natural talent. Did you hear me say that? Natural talent? Your skills this year are going to be recognized. People are going to show up for you. The right people are going to show up for you. Things are going to move smoother than expected towards the end of the year. This doesn't mean no work. It means the work fits you. So whatever is meant for you that fits who you are, the level of energy that you're at, the mindset level that you're at, the spiritual level that you're at, it's all going to pan together and fit into where you're at in all of those areas. But this year, I feel like the benefits, there's benefits to this. Like leaning into what comes naturally. Just let things flow. See what comes to you, what ideas come from you to you. What are you spending time grounding? Are you spending time doing guided meditations? YouTube has the best guided meditation. Are you trusting your intuition? Are you creating instead of overthinking? Are you just thinking about these ideas but not actually putting movement to it? That's not this year. Luck is going to show up for you when you're in the motion. And this is big because all three of these cards together say recognition is huge this year. Recognizing what you've learned, deciding what you want, and moving. The universe is going to meet you halfway, but you have to start moving. Old cycles are clearly going to close. New beginnings are going to gain traction. Confidence is going to grow through your actions. And you are going to be rewarded for being brave, not perfect. Do not focus on being perfect this year. But I want you to watch out for things acting too fast without intention. Everything has to have an intention. If you're trying to grow something, it has to have an intention. I don't want you to ignore emotional closure before moving on. And I don't want you to force outcomes instead of flowing with the time. I want you to be able to pause just long enough to choose wisely. And then, once you choose, full throttle, full throttle, full throttle, you're going 1,000 miles an hour. My channeled message to you from Spirit is this. This year asks you to look honestly at what you've created, not with judgment, but with clarity. You're stepping out of one chapter and straight into another, and the momentum's going to pick up very fast. This isn't a year for hesitation. It's a year for decisions, movement, and trusting your instinct, trusting your intuition. The more you align with your actions, with who you truly are, the smoother things are going to flow for you. You don't have to force this year. You just have to participate. Before I pulled cards, I asked Spirit for a intuitive message and a crystal. And I feel like your crystal for the year is carnelian. And boy, let me tell you, I love carnelian because that fucking crystal is like magic. It fits this reading because it boosts your motivation and courage. It supports a lot of confidence and creativity, and it grounds. It just grounds so you don't burn out. Carry this with you. Anytime you feel like there's a new beginning, a new chapter, you're going to do something new. Wear it when you're about to take risks and use it when motivation starts to, you feel defeated. Pick up that crystal. I want you to pair that with an affirmation. You might want to get a paper and pencil. The affirmation I feel like I want you to pair it with is I move forward with confidence and clarity. I move forward with confidence and clarity. You're not just starting over, you're starting stronger. I love this message for you. I feel like this is so powerful. There's a lot of things that were brought to your attention, and I'm so excited and hopeful to see what you do with it. I'm Gemini 211. For private appointments, Gemini211.com, and make sure you guys are following me on social media, Instagram and TikTok, Gemini 211. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. Please save this. Come back throughout the year to hear your message. Share this with somebody else who you might think needs a reading. I love you guys and appreciate the support. All right, Taurus, this year is about who you align with and how far you let yourself expand. Not small moves, not comfort only. This is intentional growth through connection. So I pulled cards with a astrology tarot deck, and we got the 7th house and the 9th house. That's relationship plus personal purpose. So the year ahead, it's honestly direct and clear. Let's talk about the 7th house because it's about relationships taking center stage. I don't know how this feels for you, but I feel like, holy shit, relationships taking center stage. It's romantic relationships, business collaborations, contracts and agreements, who you are choosing to walk beside. If you're thinking about going into business with somebody, that's relationships. Some of you will notice that, people showing you exactly where you stand with them in a sense of, I feel like this is you trusting your intuition and what is that energy like? Do you go have a relationship with somebody? And I'm not talking just love. Okay, I'm talking just like coworkers, maybe your boss, maybe a business partner. But what does that energy feel like when you guys converse? Is it powerful? Is it fiery? Is it grounded? Is it earthy? Is it emotional? Like, what does it feel like for you? Because some connections this season, or I should say this year, are going to be very deep, and others are going to fall apart because they can't meet you equally. They're not putting in their part. And there's going to be a lot of big lessons here. Like, the biggest lesson I feel like for you guys is going to be mutual effort or no access. Because you, Taurus, you guys are no longer carrying relationships on your back. Okay. Equality matters to you this year. And I feel like your eyes are going to be opening to making sure people are meeting you halfway. respect, energy exchange, that's all going to matter to you. So I want you to pay attention to boundaries. I want you to pay attention to who's committing to you and what do those commitments look like. And I want you to make a huge decision this year. Who stays long term and who goes? Because your ninth house is all about expansion, belief, and bigger visions. And this is where you, Taurus, you guys get stretched out because the ninth house this year pushes you to think bigger than your comfort zone. It gives you new ideas, beliefs, and direction. There's tons of travel, teaching, learning, publishing, sharing wisdom. You're stepping into a broader version of yourself. And this could show up in many ways from, you know, feeling excitement but unfamiliar with things, a belief shift that I don't see life the same way anymore. I feel like that's huge. I don't see life the same way anymore. I feel like this ninth house is about graduating, getting that degree, getting that, um, I don't know. I feel like this is paperwork, getting the agenda right, saying yes to any opportunity that's going to expand your world. But you're being asked this year to trust growth, not just the stability. And a lot of times I feel like we focus on what's going to be stable, right? A lot of times that stability doesn't have long term growth. And I feel like, you know, staying staying safe isn't going to be this year. I want you to get out of your comfort zone, get out of habits, get out of saying yes just to keep the peace around people. Get out of the unknown because the unknown is holding you back. And if you've outgrown people, don't feel guilty about it. Growth is not betrayal. These two cards together for me, you know, I feel like the wrong people are going to keep you small and the right people are going to expand you. But who are the right people? Who supports your evolution? Who benefits from you staying the same? Growth doesn't have to be chaotic, but expansion could feel grounded. I don't want you to lose yourself this year, to outgrow your old limits. I want you to stay as grounded as you can. I want you to define relationships and engagement. I want you to know that ending a relationship that no longer feels equal is okay. I want you to ask yourself in any relationship, is this relationship helping me grow or keeping me comfortable? Because the minute you realize comfort and growth is the year that you expand. I want you to pay attention to who's meeting you halfway and who's not. If a relationship survives this year, it's solid. In your career, I feel like there's new opportunities, bigger than before. And it's bringing along with it a chance for you to learn, to travel, to share your knowledge. I see a shift change in your career direction, a long-term vision that I see that you're going to take this opportunity. You're being pulled towards something that is going to expand your world. So this could look like a few different things. Going back to school, travel to get like grounded, to rediscover yourself, publishing something, speaking, online growth, taking classes online, launching a new idea. Your mindset is getting rid of old beliefs. It's getting rid of beliefs about safety, money, relationships changing. And it's going to be more of a mindset of this is what I believe now. And this is where your year of maturity comes in. You're going to have decisions to make, whether it's comfort or growth, whether it's walk away or stay, whether it's belief systems or your next chapter. And it could feel uncomfortable, but letting go of what does not allow you to evolve is not a loss, it's an expansion. So be honest with yourself. Say yes to opportunities that scare you a little bit. Choose growth that still honors your values and stop settling for just good enough. My channeled message for you from Spirit is this: this year isn't here to shake in your foundation, it's here to widen it. You'll be asked to look closely at who you're walking with and where you're headed. Some relationships will either deepen or fall away, and both outcomes are blessings. Opportunities, they're going to arrive, the ones that expand your thinking, your world, and your future. But this year rewards honesty and commitment and the courage to grow beyond what is familiar. I feel like your crystal for the year is going to be lapis lazuli. It's clarity, truth, and confidence and expansion. Carry it when you're making any decisions about people or new direction. The right connections will grow with you this year. This year expands your life through the people that you choose. Pay attention. Growth doesn't mean losing stability, it means redefining it. I am Gemini 211. I hope you guys are following me on social media, Instagram and TikTok, Gemini 211. All private appointments could be booked at gemini211.com. I want you to save this message and I want you to come back throughout the year. When you're falling off the grid a little bit and you need that little help support, I want you to come back and listen to this and reconnect with yourself. I'm Gemini 211. Love you guys. Gemini babies, Gemini. This year is about refinement, following through, and proving to yourself that you can finish anything you start. Not just flashy beginnings, not chaos, but momentum with a purpose. So I'm using a astrology tarot deck and we pulled the waxing gibbous moon card plus the fixed. Okay. So fixed is energy and the moon is direction. So this is a very specific message for you, Geminis, me included. So the year ahead, okay, the waxing gibbous moon is the final stretch, a reminder that you are almost there, okay? You are at that final stretch of something that you've been building. So if you've been, I know it's the beginning of the year and maybe you came with an idea of, okay, I'm going to start this year. Okay, I'm going to change this year. Okay, this is my goals. Well, guess what? Progress, progress, progress. Keep moving, keep those wheels spinning, keep those ideas coming because the progress this year is going to be visible. Okay, there's going to be a lot of clarity of what needs to be tweaked and refined. But the momentum is going to start picking up and you're going to start feeling a little bit of uncertainty. And that uncertainty energy is going to almost feel like tunnel vision. This is the light at the end of the tunnel, like letting you know that hard times, financial stress, relationships, that the breakthrough is closer than you think. So you are encouraged this year to not give up. Okay. There is no giving up this year. This is the phase right before I feel like ideas lock in, results lock in. And sometimes as Geminis, we feel impatient, right? I'm always impatient, asking myself, why isn't this finished yet? Why is this taking forever? But I feel like our angels this year want us to focus on details, setting intentions with decisions, setting intentions with intentional intentions. And I definitely want you to find that little deep down spark of urge to refine instead of restarting. So this is not a season or a year for us to restart something. It is a year for us to fine tune what we already have. So if you have an idea, if you want to go to school, if you have a love situation where you want to get your marriage working, you want to get a relationship working, you want to find love, fine tune that area instead of trying to restart, instead of if you're single, doesn't mean go start a new dating site. Does not mean to go find, a new place to find somebody to date. This is refining details. So I feel like angels want you to not abandon, but adjust. And again, the rewards are going to be fine tuning, not starting over. With our fixed energy card, it's staying with it. This is big for us Geminis because fixed energy is asking for consistency, stability, commitment, and staying on course even when it's boring. And if you're a Gemini, as much as I'm a Gemini, I get bored so easily, right? And I start reading a chapter and then I'm like, okay, let me skip to the bottom because I'm already done with this. Like, I get the point. And I know that for some of us, that might not come easy. Commitment might not come easy. Consistency and stability might not come easy. But that is why this year is transformative for us. And the fixed energy card, if you could see it, it's a square with a line in the middle, but the middle line is not touching any part of the square. And this is commitment and, being able to commit to one direction. So find something that you want to fine tune this season. Choose deeply how you're going to fine tune it and repeat habits until they work. For me personally, this is posting on social media, posting, repeating that habit until it works, right? Building something that lasts forever. Don't look at the small rewards. I want you to look at the longevity of any type of commitment that you put yourself into. Pick a lane and grow in it. Because when we stop jumping and bouncing around between options, that's when our success accelerates. And the core for this year, I feel like, is not about scattered energy or multitasking everything or abandoning plans too soon. It's about progress that comes from consistency. It's about focusing on adjustments and discipline with flexibility. Um, in your career, this is gradual but steady growth. So finding something that maybe you feel like you started at the bottom, and this is the year where you get that promotion. And I feel like it's refining even skills that you need to learn to get that higher paying position or get that marketing position or putting yourself out there in a way that you never have, because this year is also going to bring recognition. But the recognition is going to come from your consistency. Okay? This is a year where you build your reputation, whatever that reputation looks like. With relationships, this is looking at relationships from a stability over excitement. It's no longer feeding into these small moments of you're cute, let me go on a date. No, this is the year where you have to look at relationships, whether it's friendships or dating, love life. What is the stability that this relationship's going to bring to me? I want you to be specific with expectations of people and relationships. This year is about fewer connections, but deeper connections. I love that. Letting go of situations that just feel inconsistent. If, relationships, friendships just kind of dissipate, it's okay. Stop entertaining the mixed signals from others and let other people find themselves, because the mindset and personal growth this year is going to be huge. Mental clarity, overthinking is going to decrease, and you're going to build structure. I love this even for myself. I'm like, yes, Spirit, keep giving me the download. Confidence is going to go a long way if you just follow through. And a part of me, I feel like learning that being bored might give you an idea to try something different. But this year for us Geminis, it is our year to glow the fuck up and mature. And you're probably like, girl, I'm already mature. No, but we're going to mature in other areas of our lives. But what Spirit wants us to watch out for is being overly distracted when you're near the finish line. That's when dark clouds start to seep, right? Like, people don't want to see us successful. People don't want to see us rise above. So there will be distractions. Pay attention to those distractions as you get closer to accomplishing a goal. Don't overanalyze. Do not overanalyze instead of making adjustments. I want you to just make adjustments without overanalyzing the pros, the cons, the goods, the bad. How is this going to pan out? No. And no quitting this year, even if the process feels slow. Slow process is still process, right? So intuitively, this is my message, my intuitive message from Spirit. This year is about staying with it. You're closer to the breakthrough than you really think, but it requires patience, refinement, and consistency. This isn't a year to start over, it's a year to adjust, recommit, and finish strong. When you stop scattering your energy and focus on what truly matters, things begin to lock into place. Trust the process, Geminis. You are almost there. I love this intuitive message. So, the crystal for your year is going to be the blue lace agate. Why I picked that is because I feel like the blue lace agate brings a calm mental state when you're overwhelmed. It helps support communication, so your throat chakra. It encourages patience and it helps with focus and consistency. You can use it anytime you feel restless. You can use it anytime you want to quit. But trust the process and stay committed. Gemini, consistency is your superpower this year. Love you guys. I hope this resonated with you. Please share this podcast with some of your friends, family members. And don't forget, you can always book private appointments, Gemini211.com. And please make sure you are giving me a follow here and on social media, Instagram and TikTok, Gemini211. I love you guys so much and I appreciate all the support. All right, Cancers, this is your turning point year. This is not a passive year. This is activation and destiny alignment. So I used the astrology tarot deck for this reading for you guys, and I pulled the fire card with the North Node card. And this is definitely a combo that I feel like it says to you, step forward even if you're scared. Nobody cares about the fear this year. We are making moves. So let's get into this a little bit deeper. As this year pushes out the autopilot emotional energy, okay? The fire energy through the fire card brings motivation where you felt very stuck. And it's going to initiate for you the desire to want to wait and hold off. But that's not what Spirit wants this year. There's no waiting. There's no passiveness. There is no time to put things on the back burner. Okay. There is going to be strong, powerful energy after your emotional heaviness. So this might look like, restlessness in the same routines. Maybe you're getting bored with the same partner. Maybe you're getting bored at your job and you now can't tolerate the small little games, the small shit talking from people, maybe the mind games that people play with you, the energy games that people play. Your energy is so fired that you don't tolerate that. Okay. You are stepping towards a leadership and self expression year. So you need to act on ideas that you've been sitting on. You need to make moves in energy in places that you feel like you've been slacking. And you need to go in headfirst in anything that you are doing. Okay. Because this isn't reckless fire, it's purposeful ignition. And the purposeful ignition for me feels like you're driving in that driver's seat, you have control of the wheel, and you are headed whatever path that you want to go in. And at the end of that path is the biggest breakthrough and the biggest blessings of abundance that you have ever dreamt about, right? So, this is your move. It's not move later, sit, it's move now because you already know what you want. And that North Node card is the world card in tarot. So your destiny is calling. And unfortunately, the North Node shows a karmic year, right? So This is major soul growth, situations that are going to maybe not look crystal clear to you, but the karmic behind it is a lesson. So, doors that close for you, chapters that close for you, is because it's a karmic lesson that is closing. It's not meant to hurt your feelings. It's not meant because your angels are like, oh my gosh, you fucked up. So, here, let me punish you. No, you are growing and your life lessons are shaping you for long term growth. You are completing a chapter that is old and we are not looking back because you are entering a new chapter. And I feel like, a lot of times we get scared with the word karmic because we're like, oh shit, what does that look like? I don't feel like this is karmic where you're going to get a slap on the hand and all your doors and all these, bad things are going to happen. No, that's not what karma is. More of it doesn't mean like a punishment, right? It means a completion and redirection. Like this year means you need to slow down and explain to yourself when things happen why. So if a relationship ends, sit there and examine that relationship and say, what went wrong? Did I need to learn to be more patient? Did I need to learn to speak up more? Did I need to learn more self love? There's a lot of lessons through karma. And I feel like in this message here, it's just unfinished soul lessons that are coming to circle. So, patterns that you're no longer going to repeat. So, if you're usually the person that lets people walk all over you this year, that karmic circle is going to complete. So, now you're going to be the person that nobody could walk over and you stand your ground. And a lot of your choices are going to shape you into that long term person that you need to be. You are outgrowing the old version of you and stepping into that new version. But the world and the North Node card is actually also part of nurturing yourself, staying in tune. It's okay to cry when you want to cry. It's okay to feel emotionally needy sometimes. But you cancers, you guys break through karma with action. It's not just healing. Like you guys are so heavy in situations and your emotional triggers get resurfaced easily, but I want you to know that you don't have to respond the same way and you could choose a different response. It's okay. It's okay to choose courage instead of comfort. That's when you realize that this karma ends. And I just feel like, you have to, in your career life, push towards the leadership jobs that you've been wanting. Go back to school if that's what you feel like, but be ready for a role change because it's going to align you with your higher self. Be ready for bigger opportunities that get you out of your comfort zone. This is your destiny year when it comes to career. Relationships, you're going to want more honesty and emotional connections with people. You're going to be closing chapters in relationships that were built just off of comfort because you don't want comfort anymore. You want more. And you're going to start attracting yourself to people who actually challenge you to grow. So, what does that mean? You need to have stronger boundaries. Stop nurturing what does not grow back. So, personal growth this year looks like increased confidence for you. It's healing through action, not sitting down on your bed every day crying. It's the year that the Cancer zodiac sign matures fast with fire energy. But I want you to be careful for retreating yourself when things feel unfamiliar. Don't take a step back when things start to get struggled or when you start to juggle all these things and you start to feel yourself like, I don't know what to do. Don't emotionally burn yourself out being an overgiving person. This is not the year. This is the year where you are in the receiving energy. You do not give, you receive. And don't ignore your own needs, wants, and desires because growth, it honestly is so uncomfortable, but it will align you. Intuitively, if I connect to spirit, I'm going to give you a message from your angels because this year asks you to lead with courage instead of caution. You're being guided towards something bigger, something that aligns with your soul's path, but it requires movement. Comfort zones aren't closing because you've outgrown them. They're outgrowing because you put trust. you are maturing. This is the year that you trust yourself enough to step forward even without all the answers. Destiny doesn't wait, it meets you when you move. So, your crystal for the year, Cancer, is going to be carnelian, and that is my favorite crystal. Why I chose carnelian with this message, because I feel like it just fits. It boosts courage and motivation, it supports emotional strength, it gives you grounding energy, it helps you take action without fear. And I want you to think about this. Get yourself a crystal and use it. Use it when you're starting something new, when you're making a big decision, or when you just feel emotionally hesitant about something. Your affirmation for this year is going to be I trust myself to move forward. I love this. Cancer, this year activates your destiny. I'm Gemini to 11. I appreciate you guys so very much. If this resonated with you, I want you to comment. I want you to please follow me. Make sure you are following me on social media, Instagram and TikTok. And if you want to book private appointments, Gemini211.com. I love you guys and thank you for all the support. All right, Leo, this is a serious defining year for you. It's not light, not surface level. This is pressure that produces power. So I used an astrology tarot deck and I pulled the opposition card plus the Saturn card, which is the tarot card, the world card in tarot, sorry. So this combo does not play around because Leo, let me tell you, the year ahead is full of honesty. The opposition card is the mirror that you cannot ignore. So this year for you Leos, you are confronted with mirrors. Just take a second. As I say that, I'm like, I could envision myself in a room that I step into with a bunch of mirrors just reflecting my image. And I'm like, holy shit. And then I see all my imperfections, right? But this opposition brings a lot of tension between what you want versus what is required. Other people are definitely going to be a reflection in your blind spot. So, relationships, the dynamics of relationships are going to feel very challenging, but very revealing. People's true colors. You're going to start to see people when they talk and the energy that they push out to you. Is this somebody I want in my circle or is this not? And situations that are going to either bring forth compromising or clarity. You're either going to compromise to make amends and make situations get better, or you're going to have the clarity where you're like, no, we do not see eye to eye. This is not going to work. So, expecting this year, as I said from the beginning, this is definitely pressure that is going to produce power because there is going to be a lot of power struggles this year. You are going to be filled with energy that I feel like is pulling you in a million different directions. And there's going to be moments where someone challenges your authority and your ego, but you are being asked from spirit and your guides in situations like that. You need to listen instead of being the leader. And I know you Leos always want to have a voice and always want to have the final say, but this is the year where you're being asked to listen. This isn't about losing control, it's about learning balance. And the universe is asking you, can you grow without dominating the situation? You Leos always want to dominate. I know you do. So let's step into this Saturn, the world card, because this Saturn world card, funny enough, is a karmic maturity. So it shows up when it is time to level up. So this year looks like responsibility, long term consequences, tests around discipline, and karmic lessons that are going to lead you into some sort of leadership position. Don't expect gratifications this year. Expect hard earned wins. Nothing's going to be handed to you this year, but all those wins and accomplishments are going to be earned, not given. And that's accountability, right? That's accountability for I'm a bad bitch. Nothing in life is handed. I worked my ass for that. And you have every right this year to have that as your motto. But this year, the recognition comes after the work. And this is the year where I feel like this is a build your legacy year. It's not a popularity concert, but it's building your legacy. What do you want to leave behind? What do you want people to take from anytime you have a connection with somebody? What is it that you want them to take from you? Right? This is mastery over ego because you Leos, you're learning. You're learning that leadership isn't control. Just because you're not the boss doesn't mean you don't have control. Power does not need to be loud. You don't need to argue back. You don't need to have your voice louder than the next person. No. Respect is earned through consistency. Show the fuck up every day. Show up in a positive attitude, even if the environment is heavy, way down. Show the fuck up because authority grows through being humiliated. And this is the year where you Leos, you mature in a big way. When it comes to career, be ready for more responsibilities. Be ready for your leadership to be tested. And I definitely feel like you're going to be judged or evaluated in your workspace. But there's going to be a lot of opportunities that are going to be presented to you. And a lot of these opportunities are going to require discipline where you don't want anybody to tell you what to do, but you need that discipline. And you might feel a little bit of pressure, but it's just shaping you up for something better. When it comes to relationships, they're going to be challenging. Dynamics are going to be all over the place. You're going to need to set boundaries in some of your conversations, and you're definitely going to need to power your intentions, your words, and learn to share the control. I feel like that is so hard for you guys. But if a relationship survives this year, it was meant to be. If relationships dissipate, they were not meant to be. Personal growth means checking your ego always. You're going to have a lot of emotional maturity this year. This year's going to stripe away anything that does not serve your best and highest good. But I want you to pay attention this year to your own red flags of reacting defensively, refusing to get feedback, feeling burnt out from being overly controlling. Just give enough to grow. And I feel like intuitively, my message for you from Spirit is this. This year asks you to look directly at all the mirrors in your life, the people, the situations, the challenges, your career. Power struggles and delays are not punishments, they're lessons in mastery. You're being shaped into a stronger, wiser leader, one who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. This year rewards discipline and long term vision. What you build now becomes your legacy. So, Leos, your crystal for the year is going to be the tiger's eye. Why I chose the tiger's eyes? Because I feel like it brings balance with confidence and grounding. It strengthens your discipline with leadership and it protects your energy during challenges. It's going to help you steadily progress. So, your affirmation for the year is I lead with wisdom, not ego. Leo, this year tests you because you're ready. I'm Gemini to 11. I appreciate the love and the support from you guys. Please make sure that you are sharing this podcast with your loved ones and friends. If you'd like to book private appointments, Gemini to11.com. And please make sure you're following me on all social media, TikTok and Instagram, Gemini to 11. I love and appreciate you guys so very much. Virgos, this is your yearly reading. This year is a year of results plus responsibility. It's not light, it's not vague. This is a you get what you've worked for kind of year. I hope you're excited. So I used an astrology tarot deck and I pulled for you guys the full moon card and the Capricorn card as well. But the Capricorn is the Saturn card, but it's also the Devil card in tarot. So let's talk about this, Virgo, because the year ahead is about completeness and honesty, being able to complete things and working on honesty. So, your full moon harvest card, this is the outcome, right? The year puts Virgos face to face with results. So, what can you expect? Paying off for your past efforts, whether it's good or bad. If you did somebody dirty, this is the year that that effort or that payoff is going to come back to you. If you put in a lot of work to try to achieve something, this is the year that that effort gets paid off. There's going to be a lot of emotional clarity around what you've worked for and what you didn't. So the reality is, if you didn't put your 2 feet forward into areas or aspects of your life, that this year you're like, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to apply for a leadership position. If you didn't put in the work, this is the year that you're going to realize you should have worked harder. There's going to be closure of a long cycle. So when I say that, I want to know, what is the first thought that came to your mind? Was it your relationship? Was it an attitude adjustment? Was it a mindset adjustment? But there's going to be a moment of truth where things just become undeniable. The feelings you might have for somebody, the attention that you're not giving to somebody who might need it, could be yourself. But I do feel like this is not a guessing year, it's a confirmation year for you. So you might feel very prideful, um, pride in how far you've come, how much you've worked your ass off. But I also feel like there's going to be a lot of disappointments in areas where you didn't give enough effort and the effort wasn't aligned or matched up. And finding relief from knowing where things stand this year is going to be huge for you. So I feel like you have to take things not so personal. You have to take things with a grain of salt, and you have to be able to emotionally release whatever you've been holding on to for too long that doesn't do you any justice. So you can't use the message of, or the thought or the idea of, I can't deal with this no more. I can't unsee this anymore. The reality is, everything is going to be shown to you face to face, and you are going to have no choice but to grow from it. But as we step into your Capricorn Saturn card, this is all about discipline, power, responsibility. Saturn doesn't show up just for fun. Saturn shows up to teach you accountability, structure, strategic thinking, and long-term planning. And I feel like with this card, like, you could expect a lot of increased responsibility with work. So more tasks, more responsibility, more paycheck, maybe a job offer, a leadership role position. Could be you want to start your own business. But I want you this year to focus on your career status more than anything. You will be tested around your control, your boundaries, and your self worth. And you're being asked to choose this year commitment over comfort. I want to say that again. You're being asked to choose this year commitment over comfort. Your angels and your guides want you to choose the commitment. What are you committed to do over what is comfortable? This year is a year where you Virgos become very aware of, I've outgrown this. I've been overthinking this. I need to set firmer boundaries here. I've tried this. I've done this. This is the year where shit just gets clear. So the core here, put together with these 2 cards, I feel like this is the mastery through responsibility. That you are learning not everything needs to be fixed. Control is different from discipline, and structure creates freedom. This year strengthens you, Virgos, but it doesn't coddle you. Virgos, when it comes to career and money, be ready for increased workload or even authority figure. So this is stepping into a leadership position, a manager, office lead, something along those lines. But you're also this year, when it comes to career, going to be relied on so heavily. So make sure that whatever that looks like for you, that you understand that there is long-term financial decisions that need to be made when people are relying on you. You are not free labor. This is your year of building legacy. This is a legacy year for you. When it comes to relationships, pay attention to the power dynamics. Who's giving more? Who's giving less? Who's trying to dominate? Who's not? Set clear boundaries in every relationship because emotional labor is not free. Some relationships are going to feel heavy, but some are going to be revealing to you. You have to learn where obligation ends and choices begin. Your inner world is going to be filled with emotions. Make sure that you release any emotions that do not serve your best and highest good no more. Okay, facing fears without feeling the urge of failure, without feeling like you did not accomplish what you needed to in the amount of time, in the amount of what it looks like. Let go of guilt because this year it's going to strip you down, Virgo, to what is essential to you. So watch out for being burnt out. Watch out for carrying responsibilities that aren't yours. You tend to do that often. And don't worry about the guilt. Like, I don't want to see you stressed about guilt-based decisions. Not everything is yours to manage. So, if I could intuitively ask spirit for a message for you, I would say this. Virgo, this year brings results, the kind that you can't ignore. You're harvesting what you've worked for, and with that comes clarity, responsibility, and truth. Saturn is asking you to build wisely, not perfectly. This is a year of discipline, structure, and long term vision, but also a year of releasing what weighs you down. You don't need to carry anything to be worthy. True strength comes from choosing what is sustainable. So, the crystal that I chose for you guys for this year is going to be the smoky quartz. Why I chose this is because it feels like a grounding tool and it's heavy in the Saturn energy. So it helps release guilt and pressure, it protects you against burnout, and it supports your emotional and physical resilience. Your affirmation for the year is going to be this: I build a life that supports me. So, Virgo, this year shows you exactly where you stand. Discipline builds freedom. You don't need to carry everything to be strong. I'm Gemini 211. I love you guys so much. I hope this resonated with you. All right, Libra. This year is quietly powerful, deeply personal, and identity shifting. I love this. So I used the astrology tarot deck, and I got the first house, which is the ruling sign Aries, and the wanting crescent moon, which is the hermit in tarot. And this is not loud glow up energy. This is inner recalibration before a new era. This is a combo that is sacred to energy resetting. So if you've been feeling like you just need to start all over, a fresh start, like I feel like for some of you, this was like, okay, here's the new year. I'm going to do all these things, but you still feel the same, right? So let's talk about this. The first house is who you are now. Who are you right now? If I asked you, if we were one on one and I asked you, who are you right now? And I put the spotlight on you, what does that look like? This year starts with yourself. It's putting the spotlight on your identity, how you show up, how you lead. What does your energy look like? What does your self image look like? And this is a shift. I feel like this is a year where you start to look at yourself from a different lens. You're less concerned with pleasing other people. I feel like for you, Libras, you were always on the go to make other people happy. And you definitely put others before you, but this is a stronger awareness for your own needs this year. This is less worried about others, more concerned about you, and a desire to kind of move more independently. So this year, I feel like with this first house card is Spirit asking you, who are you when no one else is deciding for you? If you don't have to get the approval from outsiders, who are you? What does that look like? Because I feel like this year, you Libras, you start to separate yourself from relationships that don't serve your highest good anymore. And that is huge for you. And as we get into your wanting crescent moon, this is the release before you restart. I love this duo for you because this is the final phase before the rebirth. So that tells us that you've been putting in a lot of work. You've been overly exerting yourself in your spiritual growth, in your well being, and you've been looking at your life in a different lens. You've been looking at life in a lens of how could I make this long term? How can I make this a legacy instead of a fast, quick money hustle, right? And this is your year that's going to bring a lot of closure. You're going to have a lot more days where you just feel like, I don't want to get up and I don't want to do that. And this is okay because your soul is yearning for that rest so that you could recalibrate your kind of like your DNA. So letting go of outdated versions of yourself is going to be huge. And I feel like this is a struggle, but it's something that is well overdue for you. Definitely, I feel like this is expecting cycles to close with no drama. It's a need for isolation, so you will definitely need your space this year. And you will be releasing any old identities or expectations or even roles that no longer serve you. So some of you might lose a position. Don't take it personal. It's because the universe said you outgrown this. You are way better than this. You're underpaid. You're not even being credited, or I feel like people just don't see your worth. It's not an isolation, but it's a intentional retreat that spirit is putting you through because you're meant this year to reflect and heal. You're meant to reconnect with your inner voice and you're meant to release pressure to help you perform better. So I want you to take a step back and redefine who you are this year. That first house, going back into that, what do you think that others perceive you to be? And how does that affect you? And are you going to change that or are you going to brush it off with, honestly, I don't care? This year is about reclaiming your identity and choosing peace over people pleasing, preparing for a new beginning because you Libras are shedding skin. So in real life, it's redefining your personal goals, it's letting go of who you thought you should be and becoming more self directed. Stop asking outsiders for permission. And I think that is huge for you guys, getting validation from others. Like, there's no more getting permission. You be true to who you are. Your identity is who you want it to be. Your appearance is what you want it to be. Your ego is who, what, when, where, how you want that to look. But relationships this year are going to be pulled back a lot because your angels are wanting you to reassess all dynamics of your relationship, releasing one sided relationships. If people aren't meeting you halfway, it's time to release those relationships, cut those cords, cut those ties. And I feel like you're going to be less tolerant to any emotional imbalances. So you need to learn that harmony starts within, not with others. Self growth and self love come from within yourself. Your career this year is going to take a pause. Things are going to slow down, but it's by design because your guides are working back end. You manifested something greater. Therefore, things are working in the back burner for you that you just can't see. Behind the scenes, your angels are planning. They're realigning things for you, they're expanding things for you, and they're going to bring the clarity that you don't want anymore. But that's going to prepare you to get out of the stag comfort that you're in and rebirth yourself. This is why appearance is a lot. This is why identity means a lot. Impressions mean a lot. But I want you to watch out for over isolating instead of resting. When your body needs rest, it's because your DNA is realigning. I want you to let go of the guilt for choosing yourself this year because this is your year, not anybody else's. And this is a year where silence is productive. You don't need outside validation. You don't need others to give you validation. This is the year where you learn that it's big yet small. So, my spiritually in tuned message for you guys is this year, Libras, isn't about asking you to rush forward. It's asking you to pause and reconnect with yourself. Your identity is shifting, and that requires space, honesty, and rest. You're releasing old roles, old expectations, and versions of yourself that no longer fit. This is the year of surrender, reflection, and self redefinition. The more you honor this quiet phase, the stronger your next beginning will be. So, your crystal for the year is going to be Moonstone. And I chose Moonstone because it supports emotional balance, it encourages self reflection, and it helps release and get you in tune. It eases tension between phases. And I definitely feel like Moonstone is one of my ultimate favorite crystals. It also, side note, helps relieve headaches. So if you have a moonstone and you're starting to get a headache, if you just put your moonstone on your forehead, it will start to ease pressure and tension in your head. So I want you to use this crystal when you feel uncertain, when you're releasing old attachments and you start to get that emotional buildup. When you need to get emotionally grounded, get your crystal. And your affirmation for the year is going to be I honor who I am becoming because you are becoming somebody so new. Libra, this year is about finding yourself again, and rest is part of that rebirth. I am Gemini 211. I love and appreciate you guys so much. I hope this reading resonated with you. If it resonated, I want you to share this with somebody, family, friend. And I want you to make sure that you are following me on Instagram and TikTok, Gemini211. And don't forget, you can always book private appointments, Gemini211.com. I love you guys so much and thank you for the support.
All right, Scorpio, this is a turn the corner kind of year. Not explosive transformation, because that's your usual, but this is clarity and expansion with intention. So I used a astrology tarot deck and I pulled the ninth house in Jupiter and the waxing gibbous moon, which is the Temperance card in tarot. And what that combo says is you're almost there, but how do you adjust, or I should say, how you adjust it matters. So let's dive into this because Scorpio, the year ahead is about being complete, real, and grounded. The ninth house is expansion of the mind, belief, and direction. So this year pushes you beyond old versions of how you viewed the world and how you perceived the world as a whole. So I feel like this year with your ninth house, it's your belief systems taking a tour in a different direction. The shifts in your belief systems are going to change. You're going to have a desire to learn, to teach, and explore. So that's tapping into spirituality. Could be faith, could be your higher power, could be a religion. But you are going to be pulling towards a bigger meaning, not just survival. And this could show up in many ways from physical form to mental form to travel, educations, maybe getting a certificate, wanting to volunteer. But it's a deep study. And you're going to start questioning this year old truths and rewriting your own personal laws. So, this religion, higher power, or higher mind, I should say, is going to come in very handy this year because I feel like angels are going to ask you, what do you believe in now? And then what did you believe in back then? And a lot of us, we grew up, I grew up in the Catholic Church. So, like, the belief systems were very intense. And if I go back to what I believed then to what I believe now, I'm like, oh my God, it's like night and day. So, take a second to analyze that belief system. It's not that you're shedding anything bad, but you're upgrading your perspective, and that's okay. And as we get into your waxing gibbous moon card, which is the Temperance in Tarot, it's adjustments before the breakthrough. And this is the final refinement phase of life for you. So this year is a lot of, you spent time in the past fine tuning everything. And finally, this is the year where you finally refine it to get the biggest benefit from it. So you're going to notice momentum building up. You're going to notice results coming in. You're going to notice blessings upon blessings pour in. You're so close, but you're not there yet. So there's still small adjustments that need to be adjusted to welcome in those big outcomes. And your Temperance card brings just that to you. Balance, patience, blending the old and the new. And this year is not about extremes, it's about alignment. So, Scorpios, you are learning that you don't need to burn everything down to evolve. You can learn from lessons instead of destroying chapters. And if you really pay attention, power can be calm, steady, and precise. You don't have to be this big flare. It doesn't have to be center of attention this year. Expand your world, but refine your approach. This year rewards your thoughtful decisions, your emotional maturity, your clear intentions. And I feel like your guides are going to measure your actions. Do your actions line up to what you say you want, who you say you are? You're stepping into wisdom and you're stepping away from chaos. So in your career, expect direction, paths, ideas to become more clear, opportunities that are going to tie you into growth or learning. And don't take this as a negative, take this as a positive opportunity. Long-term plans are going to start to be solidified. And this is your I'm set to make the move year. In relationships, you're going to be very tired of drama. You are not going to want to tolerate drama this year because you're going to be more focused on your own alignment and your shared beliefs. A lot of your relationships that are going to just click for you this year are going to weigh heavily on belief systems. And that could be spirituality. It could be a belief system of how you run your household, how you manage your finances, how you manage your relationships, your marriages. But honest conversations are going to allow you to recalibrate your dynamic. And I want you to choose peace over any power struggles. You need to stop living in that intense energy to feel alive. You don't need to be in intense to make moves. Inner growth is huge. Self-trust is huge. You need less recognition this year and more responsible decisions and choices. You need to be calmer and you need to be kind and you need to have confidence. This is how you get the controlled power, is by emotional regulation. Emotionally regulating yourself to, how are you going to react? Do I trust myself? Is my reaction powerful, fiery, fiery, or am I more responsive with my words, calm, cool, collective? Be careful that you are not overcorrecting instead of looking at things and how you can make adjustments. Don't judge your, excuse me. Don't judge yourself for needing balance. And be slow to alignment because it's going to last longer and the results are going to be pure. There's a lot of impatient energy the closer we get to the finish line. And I just want you to remember it's okay to be slow. Slow alignment brings lasting results. It's okay. If intuitively I could give you one message from Spirit, it would be this. This year is about expansion, but not at the cost of balance. You're stepping into a bigger understanding of yourself and your path, and you're closer to your breakthrough than you realize. This is the year that you adjust instead of implode. Small intentional changes bring powerful results. You don't need intensity to evolve because the clarity will take you further. So, your crystal for this year is the amethyst, and I chose this because I feel like it fits this reading perfectly well. It supports your spiritual growth, it encourages patience and clarity, and it calms heavy emotions. When emotions get too extreme, use your amethyst crystal. Your affirmation for the year is I trust the process and refine my path. So, Scorpio, your power this year comes from balance. You're almost there. Refine. Don't rush. I'm Gemini 211. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope this reading resonated with you. Please, if you'd like to book private appointments, Gemini211.com. Also, follow me on social media, Instagram and TikTok, Gemini211. I appreciate you guys and I love you guys so much. Thank you for the support. All right, Sagittarius, buckle up because this year is identity, ignition, and choice driven growth. This is a decide who you are and move accordingly. So I used the astrology tarot deck and I pulled for you guys the first house in Mars and the Gemini lovers Mercury card. That combo is loud in every best way possible. So Sagittarius, the year ahead is full direct and there's no fluff behind it. Your first house in Mars starts with you. This year puts you front and center. Expect strong urges to reinvent yourself. Changes in appearance, your attitude, your confidence, or how you show up. You are going to have less tolerance this year for being boxed in. You do not want to be isolated. You do not want to be in this bubble anymore. You are ready to be the brightest light, the I almost feel like I could see you opening doors somewhere and everybody's head turn. This is your year to have the desire to lead with authenticity, not approval. And this is a self-directed year. You stop waiting for the green lights, you're just going. I want you right now to think about the person that you are becoming. And I want you to envision that person stepping into a room where the most famous, rich, educated people are in this room, and you walk in there and everybody turns to look at you. How does that make you feel? I want you this year to act like the person you're becoming because Mars brings courage, it brings momentum, but only if you choose yourself first. Because your Gemini lover's card, your choices start to shape the path. Now, here's the pivot in this because the lovers isn't just romance, it's alignment through decision. So, this year brings big choices in direction, work, life, and relationships. I definitely see dual paths appearing at once. So, Gemini, if you know I'm a Gemini, there's the good and the bad, right? There's the devil and the angel and the Gemini. And this is where you're at that dual path. Which way are you going? Because you have dual paths right in front of you. Conversations with people are about to change everything. Partnerships are going to start to mirror your values. So, relationships that you have with people are going to start mirroring the values that you have. I want you to expect moments where you have to choose because you're going to have to choose this year comfort over curiosity, alignment over whatever's familiar, and talking about it versus are you actually doing something about it? And Sagittarius, you learn that freedom doesn't mean avoiding commitment, it means choosing what truly fits you. So, choosing who you are, then acting like it, this is the reward there. Clear decisions, honest communication, curiosity with commitment. And this is the one thing. being indecisive is the only thing that's going to slow you down this year. You have to just go. You have to get out of comfort. You have to have that breakthrough. You have to walk through with fame, fortune, that just bad bitch energy. That's the energy you need all year long. In real life, this is what your energy with these two cards with it, I even see the mutable Gemini here. That's dual, right? That's bold personal reset, that's stronger voice, that's less people pleasing and more confidence in your own direction. Stop explaining yourself to people. You don't have to. Relationships this year are going to be very meaningful. Conversations are going to be deep. You're going to be defining where you stand with somebody. Could be your love life, could be your job and employer. Something's going to define there. You're going to have new partnerships, new friendships based off of mental connections. And you're definitely going to be letting go of connections that feel scattered or misaligned. Mental chemistry this year is going to matter more than anything. In your career life, there's going to be new opportunities through networking and communication. Projects are going to be evolving for you. You're going to be writing more, speaking more, teaching, or even collaborating with somebody on social media. There's going to be collaboration doors that are going to open for you, but you have to choose one path instead of juggling 10. And you are great at juggling. So you need to focus on what is going to create freedom, not stress, not tension, not indecisive, but freedom. So be careful with overcommitting yourself. Be very cautious with talking yourself out of decisions. And I want you to act before clarifying intentions. Clarity is going to beat the chaos. So, if I could intuitively give you one message from Spirit, it would be this, Sagittarius. This year begins with you, who you choose to be and how you show up. You're standing at a crossroad, and the universe is asking for a clear decision. You do not need every option, you need the right option. And when you align with your actions and you align your actions with your truth, momentum's going to follow. So choose boldly, choose honestly, and move. So the crystal that I chose for you for this year is the sodalite. Why I chose this is because I feel like it enhances your clarity and communication and will help you with decision making. It's going to help huge when it comes to balancing and being impulsive. Your affirmation for this year is going to be I choose what aligns with who I am. So, Sagittarius, this year is shaped by your choices. Freedom comes from clarity. Decide and then move. I am Gemini 211. I appreciate the love and the support. I appreciate you guys so very much. If this resonated with you, please share this, send this to somebody, and definitely keep in touch. Make sure you're following me on social media, Instagram and TikTok, Gemini 211. And definitely, if you feel inclined to get a personal reading, Gemini211.com. I love you guys and thank you for all the support.